So we discussed the poem yesterday. Yeah, rain on the roof. Okay. We discussed. So first of all, yes, who is going to tell me? Who is going to tell me what we discussed so far? Yeah, summary of the poem. Who is going to tell? Yes, children, raise your hand. Who is going to tell what we discussed yesterday? Yes, Anusha.
Sir, your camera is shaking.
Yes, Anusha. Anusha, raise her hand first of
Sir,
all.
your camera is shaking.
What?
Sir, your camera is shaking.
Okay. Okay, no, bro. I will rectify it. Yeah. You tell your answer. Yes, children, you tell your response. Yes. You, yeah. Yes. Anusha, you can start.
Yes, sir. The central idea of the poem is that when the clouds get dark outside and it starts raining, hearing the
Yes, continue.
memories, he remembered
Yes.
he thinks about the
Yeah, so it is about that when the clouds get dark, okay, then after that they remain full of moisture, they move here and there in the sky, and then the rainfall starts. When it starts raining, it seems that the melancholy darkness is weeping in the form of the raindrops, and when the poet listens to this patter of the falling rain, then he recollects certain memories that of his past, certain things from his past comes to his mind. Okay, he is reminded of certain things related to his past, and then in the final paragraph, it is given regarding the memory of his mother, that he is reminded of his mother. Okay, that how her mother, how his mother used to come to their room and she used to provide all her love and affection to them, and then she used to let them sleep up to the early morning. Okay, so that we have already discussed. Now I said, children, that we will discuss regarding the literary devices. So first literary device is alliteration. Yeah, there is use of alliteration there in the poem. Okay, so what is alliteration? The repetition of a consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. The repetition of consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. So you find there in the first stanza. Okay, humid hover. You see the word humid. Humid hover. Okay, humid hover. H. This is consonant sound. This is consonant sound. So in two consecutive words, one is humid, the other is over. H is repeated. The consonant sound is there. So such kind of words, they are, that you can say is alliteration. Okay. Then if you see the other word, any such kind of other word you find, then yes. So find other alliteration there in first stanza. Other alliteration. Alliteration, that is the consonant at the beginning of two consecutive words in a sentence. Yes, Mansi Vyas.
Starry spheres.
Yes, very good. So this is also starry spheres. So this is what? This is also alliteration. You have understood this? This is also alliteration. Then you find any other word. Is there any other word?
Cottage chamber.
Cottage chamber.
Yes. In the first one, in stanza number 1, I am asking from stanza number, yeah, cottage chamber. C.
In stanza 1,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes. Cottage chamber, C. So like that, children, you can identify alliteration. Will you be able to identify alliteration? Because
Yes, sir.
in the abstract-based questions, sometimes all these such kind of questions are asked. That what is the name of the poem from where these lines are taken? Who is the poet of this poem? What is the meaning of this word? What idea has been communicated in these lines? Identify the literary device in these lines. Is it clear to you? So you can very easily identify the literary device used here. Okay? Then the same you have to do for the next stanza. Find out alliteration there in next stanza. Alliteration in next stanza, children.
Busy being.
Yes, busy being. Yeah, busy being. So this is alliteration. Yeah. Then
Rain roof.
only
Melancholy darkness.
yeah, now only to whom I ask, that child will. So
Melancholy darkness.
the second one, what? Disita, you repeated what you said.
Rain roof.
Yeah, R is there. Rain roof, yes. Okay, so this is alliteration. Okay, I hope you have understood it well. Now in the third stanza, yes, Vedika.
Darling dreamers.
Okay, only to whom I am asking, Vedika Rawat. Yes, Vedika Rawat, you tell. Vedika Rawat, you tell example of alliteration in third stanza. Yes, Vedika. Okay. Only to whom I am asking. Yes, Harshita Berwa, you tell. Harshita, you tell me example of alliteration. Example of alliteration. There in third stanza. Vedika, I ask you to tell example that of alliteration in third stanza. Yes, Vedika. Yes, Harshita Berwa. Harshita, turn on your mic and tell. Harshita Berwa, turn on your mic and tell. Find out. Darling dreamers. But Harshita, you have to use your mic. You have to unmute yourself and then tell. Okay, so it is darling dreamers. Okay, so this is alliteration. So this we have discussed about alliteration. So one literary device we have discussed about is alliteration. What alliteration is? The repetition of a consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. You write the definition. The repetition of a consonant sound. The repetition Yes, children. This is the definition, and then all the examples which we have discussed. You can write the examples. Okay. So the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. Yeah. You write it. Shreyans Pakhare want an entry, but children entry will be given only through one mode, and that is the Google Classroom. Only through Google Classroom entry could be provided. There you will get the link directly. Okay. So you have to join Google Classroom. Shreyas Pakhare already there. You used to attend class there from the Google Classroom. Yeah. Alliteration, the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. And then you write the examples. Okay? All of you have done this?
Done, sir.
Shall we proceed?
Done, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, children, the second literary device is personification. Personification. Okay. So, what is personification? Will anybody tell me what is personification? Yes, what is personification? What is personification, children? What is personification? Yes. Personification. When we treat,
It means to a human quality to an object or a non-living thing.
yeah, when we use a non-living thing in a human form, okay. When we use an inanimate object or non-living thing, when a non-living thing or any inanimate object is described in the form of a human, then it is termed as personification. What is personification? When a non-living thing or inanimate object or inanimate thing is described in human form, then that is termed as personification. So you write the definition: treating a non-living thing as living is termed as personification. Okay, so you write it, then you have to identify the examples of personification, where personification has been done in this poem, that you have to identify. Written, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can you tell me the example? Yes. So now you tell me the examples of personification, children. Examples of personification. Personification examples, children. Yes. Find out example of personification. Is there any example? In first stanza,
Yes,
is
sir.
there any? Anusa Yadav. Okay, you just wait,
Please don't
Anusa,
smile at
Isika,
us.
you just wait. Any other student? Every student should tell, everyone should take active part in classroom discussion. It's not only one or two students who will tell, who will respond for every answer, every question. Yes, Anamika, Raghav, what about others? Other students?
Please don't smile at us.
Okay, so Anamika, Raghav, you tell.
Sir, example of personification, no?
Yes.
Mm, the sun smiled at us.
What?
The sun smiled at us.
I am not able to hear you. Tell it properly, Anamika. Speak properly. Yes, Aditya.
Soft rain.
What?
Soft rain.
Okay. So when the humid shadows over the starry spheres and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to praise the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Okay, and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain.
Lonely as a
Yeah,
cloud.
yeah, this is one. Then anything else?
Rainy tears.
The second children, it is regarding, see, that object should be in the form of a person. For example, you see, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps. Melancholy darkness gently weeps. Children, you tell me, can darkness weep? Can darkness weep?
No, sir.
No. Who can weep? Who can weep?
Living object.
Living
Living
object.
object.
Okay, so here it is personification. Okay, you see, darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. So rainy tears, that is the form, that is not personification. Okay, darkness gently weeps. Okay, so this is what darkness has been personified. Darkness has been personified. Have you understood, children? So you write the
Yes, sir.
example. Darkness has been used here as subject in a human form. Okay. Soft rain will not be there. You have to listen to the patter of the soft rain. That is, you are listening to the sound. You are listening to the sound of the rain. Okay. So then any other thing you find, you can tell. Then if we proceed, every tingle on the singles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollections wave their airy threads. Focus on this line. And 1,000,
Recollections.
yes, and 1,000 recollections. Recollections means memories. So 1,000 memories. What the 1,000 memories used to do, and 1,000 recollections wave their air thread. Wave
Weave
their
their air
air.
threads.
What they are doing? They are waving their air thread. Who is waving this air thread? 1,000
Memories.
recollections, memories. Okay. So into a whoop, they are waving it into a whoop, into a fabric. What is the meaning of whoop? Fabric. Okay. So they are this 1,000 recollections. So recollections here is what? Recollection has been personified. Recollection has been personified. Have you understood, children? Okay, so you write these examples, and in this manner you have to identify it when the non-living object is used as a subject, and in terms of what? In terms of a living thing. Okay, so write the examples. All of you have written it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then children, you write the next thing. Then you write about Yes, children. The next is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. This is what? This is the use of sound words. The use of sound words to create a dramatic effect. To create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. Auditory imagery, certain sound imagery, imagery in the form of a sound. Okay. For example, the snake hiss. The snakes hiss. Okay, so that is a sound word. Cats meow. That is a sound word. Okay. So the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory image. So you find the sound word here. Yes, children. Yes.
Bliss.
Bliss. That is happiness. That is
Better.
not bringing. That is not bringing. That is not. Yes. Just a minute. This is
Better.
yes, better. Better. That is a sound. And that is the sound of what? That is the sound of falling raindrops. Okay, so better is an example of onomatopoeia. Better is a sound word, and it is a sound of what? It is a sound of falling
Rain.
Okay, then you can say tinkle, tinkle. Okay, where it is given every tinkle on the singles, every tinkle on the singles. Single is what? That is the root material, and every tinkle on the root material. Okay, so tinkle is what? It is a ringing sound. It is a ringing sound. Yes, so these two words, children, these two words, better. Yes, better and tinkle. Better and tinkle. Yeah. Okay. So this is what? This is onomatopoeia. Okay. So when you are asked to identify onomatopoeia, you have to focus on what? You have to focus on sound. That is there any word which is exhibiting any sound? Okay, that you have to focus on. Then children, the next we have to write the next literary device. The next literary device used is transferred epithet. You write that. Just a minute. Okay, you write the next one, children. Next, it is transferred epithet. What it is? Transferred epithet. Next literary device we will discuss about. You write the word transferred epithet. Okay, so the definition is the use of an adjective. The use of an adjective with a noun. With a noun when it refers to another noun. Okay, so what is transferred epithet? Transferred epithet is when a use of an adjective is there. The use of an adjective with a noun. The use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun. When it refers to another noun. Okay? When it refers to another noun. The use of adjective. The adjective is what? It is a describing word that describes something. Okay, he is a very honest child. So honest is, that is adjective. Okay, so the use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun, that is transferred epithet. You will understand it when we will discuss the examples. Okay, so the example is dreamy fancies. The word you see, dreamy, dreamy fancies. Okay, so it does not mean that the fancies here, it does not mean that the fancies are dreamy, but refers to the people who have a dream. Here it does not directly refers to the fancies which are dreamy. Okay, it does not mean that the fancies are dreamy, but it is used for what? It is used for what? The people who are having fancy dreamies. Okay, so dreamy fancies. Here you can say the adjective dreamy is used with a noun, fancy, but it refers to another noun. It refers to another noun, and that is what? That is the people who used to have imaginations. So here we can say transferred epithet. Okay, so in dreamy fancies, transferred epithet is there. What is the definition of it? The use of an adjective with a noun. Dreamy is an adjective used with the noun fancies. Okay, but it is referring to another noun. It is describing the people who are having dreamy fancies. Okay, so dreamy fancies, it does not mean that the fancies are dreamy, but refers to the people. It refers to the people who have dreams. Okay, so here what literary device has been used? What literary device has been used? Transferred epithet.
Transferred epithet.
Then melancholy darkness. Melancholy darkness. Melancholy darkness. Okay, so refers to sad people. Melancholy, that is the adjective, darkness noun. Okay, so the darkness is not melancholy. Actually, it is referring to the people who are sad. Okay, so melancholy darkness, what has been used here? Transferred epithet. Okay, it is describing the people. Melancholy darkness, here it refers to the people who are sad. So these are examples of transferred epithet. So what we have discussed, what kind of literary devices we have discussed? One we have discussed regarding alliteration. Other we have discussed regarding personification. Then we have discussed regarding onomatopoeia, and we have discussed regarding transferred epithet. These are some of the literary devices that have been used there in this point. Okay, children, and while we study the point, literary devices remain very important. Okay, and very often it could be asked to you that identify the literary devices used here in these poetic lines. Okay, this is so all this we have discussed. Okay, then regarding the question answers. Regarding the question answers, children. So first question is, what do the following phrases mean to you? Humid shadows. So it is used for what? Humid shadows has been used for what? Yes, children, tell the answer. Humid shadows is
When
used
it
for
is
what?
about to rain, dark clouds cast
It
a
is
shadow
used
on
for
earth.
the clouds
The clouds
When it
carrying
is
which
rain.
are
raining, dark
full of
clouds cast a shadow
moisture.
on
It
earth.
is used for the clouds which are
Shadow on
full
the
of
earth.
moisture. So humid shadows is describing what? It is describing the, yes children,
Rain,
provide your
dark
response.
clouds. Rain, dark clouds
Ansuma,
cast.
it is describing what? Humid shadows is used for,
Rain,
Clouds
dark
filled with
clouds
moisture.
cast a
yes
shadow on earth.
children, Anamika,
Rain, dark clouds cast
The
humid
a
clouds
shadows
shadow.
is
become wet
describing what?
during the
Pratik,
rainy
your voice
season.
is not coming.
Clouds with
Yes, Pratik, tell. Pratik Sahu.
Sir, the
Pratik, your voice
clouds
is not
become wet
coming.
during the rainy season.
Unmute yourself. Yeah, other students. Yes. Yes, Aditya, you tell. You have raised your hand. Yes, Aditya. Unmute yourself and then tell.
Sir, I can tell the answer.
Okay, Anusha, you speak. You can check whether mic is all right or not. Yes, Anusha. Sir, my network has gone. Okay. Yes, Anusha, you tell the answer. Humid shadows. What do the following phrases mean?
Humid
Humid
shadows
shadows
is
is used
used
for
for
what?
clouds with moisture.
Humid shadows is used for what?
Clouds filled
Yes,
with moisture.
Savita Godara, but you have to use your mic. Anusha, your voice is also not coming. Humid shadows is used for clouds full of moisture. Clouds full of moisture. All of you have understood this? All of you have understood, children?
Yes, sir.
Sir, your speaker is off. My voice is not coming to you.
Sir, you are audible.
Are you able to hear me? Okay. Then starry spheres. Starry spheres. It is used for starry spheres. It is used for
The dark
the
clouds
sky
covering
which
the
is
sky.
full of stars. The sky which is full of stars. You got it? Sky full of stars. Yes, Mansi Vyas, correct. Then what a bliss, what a bliss, what a bliss. When there is a bliss, while lying down on the pillow and listening to the sound of soft rain. Bliss means happiness. But what a bliss when there is a bliss. When we lie there
When
in
it
our
rains.
bed and listen to the sound of the rain, then there is an absolute bliss. Okay, so what a bliss, what has been described through it, that it remains
Happiness.
when we listen to the sound of the rain lying there in our bed. Okay, children, I hope you have understood it. Then 1,000 dreaming fancies into busy being start. A thousand dreamy fancies into busy being start.
It
So
means
what it is
that
regarding, the poet's mind is occupied with a large number of mental pictures. The poet's mind is occupied with a large number of mental pictures. When he hears the sound of rain, then in his mind comes a number of memories from his past, a number of recollections, a number of old memories. Yes, correct, Pradeep Kumar Sahu. So 1,000 tree collections wave their air thread into groove. When he hears the sound,
The poet.
then a number of memories from the past comes to his mind, and one memory leads to another, and likewise he keep on remembering his past. Okay. Then the next question, children, is what does the poet like to do? What does the poet like to do when it rains? What does the poet like to do when it rains? Yes, provide your response. You can write it. What does the poet like to do when it rains? Yes, children. What does the poet like to do when it rains? The poet starts, yes. Yeah, lying there in his bed. Okay, so while it is raining, the poet likes to lie down on his bed in his cottage. He likes to listen to the sound of the rain falling there on his roof. In this blissful state of mind, he likes to bring, okay, he likes to remember about the memories of his past life. Okay, so what he likes to be there in his bed and to listen to the sound of the rain and to remember about his past. Okay, then what is the single major memory that comes to the poet's mind? What is the single major memory that comes to the poet's mind? Yes, children. The poet's mother comes to his mind. He is reminded of his mother. Memory of his mother. Okay. Then is the poet now a child? Is the poet now a child? Yes, children, tell me. Is the poet now a child? No, the poet is now not a child, and he is a grown-up person. He is a grown-up person. Okay? Then, children, when you were these questions we have discussed. Now the questions given in the second part. When you were a young child, did your mother tuck you in as the poets did? So children, now here there is the time for the next class. Okay, this class comes to an end here. So in tomorrow's class we will discuss the remaining question answers of this poem. We will also discuss some of the abstract questions, abstract based questions, okay, from the poem. And if we will get some more time, then I will also ask you questions from the earlier poems which we have already discussed. So you come prepared with that also. So far we have discussed which poems? The road not taken and wind. Okay, so only some question answers we have to discuss. So
Okay,
after
sir.
if time will be there, I will ask you
Sir,
questions from those points.